2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Always a pleasure to have you joining us. This morning, my virtual guest is Minister with responsibility for ICT, needy assistance, and special projects. Minister Pamela Moses is my guest this morning. Good morning, Minister Moses. I think this is the first time I've had you on To The Point, is it?
That is true.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Morning. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
A pleasure.
Special good morning to all the listeners out there and listening public.
I love the afro.
Yeah. Rocking it natural.
Amen.
First time in my life, but it feels good.
Well, it looks good as well. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
So this morning, Minister, we're talking the school uniform program. And this year, 2021, is a bit different because the program has gone virtual. So tell us some more information and why that's the avenue that we're rolling out the program this year.
Well, before I start, I just want to say thanks. Thanks to all of our staff, our ICT team at the Ministry of ICT for this initiative. It's been a long journey. We've been at this over a year, working on it, working with the company. And so we are doing this now. It has already started. We are already digital. And I also want to extend thanks to the staff at the Prime Minister's Ministry who are working with us now on this program, to make it fully digital, the School Uniform Assistance Program. What can I say about it, Blossom? It is new. I hope some who have had the experience would call it savvy. I don't know. We haven't yet interviewed persons who have actually shopped. We've had a few hundred persons successfully shopping digitally thus far. So we are one step closer to becoming cashless. It is not much, I must say. It's a small step, but we have started as a government, and so our people are now shopping cashless. No cash in the pockets, but you go shop for your school clothes for your children. Our government signed an MOU with a company in Trinidad called WePay, and we must say that they have fully delivered. The CEO, Mr. Alwyn Wayne, he was recently here in Grenada in the last week of July when we launched the program, and they have upheld their end. That company basically is like a MasterCard or a credit card company. And they have provided us with a secure payment platform. And that platform is now allowing Grenadians, people in Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, to go shop on their cell phones. Now they also provide cards and things like that. And they have the opportunity to shop in person, or if they have a card, they can also shop online, and basically using a QR code, meaning a quick response code. They have developed that software, and so this digital system that deliver QR codes to cell phones is now on the ground in Grenada. We have hundreds of shoppers, like I said. And they've been having quite a good experience. But I must say there are glitches, as always, Blossom. With every new program, there will be issues and challenges. And we are facing it. We are facing those challenges.
Speaking of challenges, what were some of the challenges under the, I don't want to say the old system, but the face-to-face distribution compared to going digital, that the transition needed to be made? What were some of the challenges that you think you'll be able to bypass or get over going digital with the program?
Oh, yes. The number one is too much paper, too much contact, too much spread of germs. And at a time like this, where we have possible COVID-19 cases out there that we are searching for. At a time like now, this present program, it is such a blessing that we have removed all the paperwork. And so persons are now just going to the shop with their cell phones and they just have to scan their phones. There's less of that touching, that physical contact. And so we can definitely assure the Grenadian public, I cannot say 100%, but maybe a 90% reduction in the spread of germs, while our 5,000 plus Grenadian parents go there and shop for their children with the school uniform program. It is really so great. Of course, less paper. Well, practically no paper. We normally put $50 on each sheet of paper. So a parent who gets the maximum of $450 grant for their children would have gotten something like, nine sheets of paper to manipulate out there. And so we have absolutely none of that right now. They just go with their cell phones. The only paper that is still in the program, and we hope to remove it next year, is the printing of the writing of the receipts by the storekeepers, by the vendors. As part of transition, the Ministry of Finance and the auditors recommended that this part be upheld. As this is a new program, there'll be glitches, there'll be issues, and such as we didn't want any issues there. We want to ensure that all vendors, when they cash for someone, well, cashless, when they, do a transaction for someone, that they can provide us with a physical receipt as well. And these people have to sign it. And so we have kept that portion of it, but the aim is to remove it next year. And that's just to make our system more complete and secure, safe, less issues, basically. Yeah.
As you mentioned, under the previous system, a parent receiving the maximum would have like 9 sheets of paper. I recall as part of the program as well that no change would be given when you spend the grant at a store, so you have to use up it in its entirety. How does that work now that we've gone digital? Is it still the same thing? How does the breakdown of the money run?
Right. Well, they will receive the entire payment, whether it is $100 or $450. The minimum is $50 for primary school. The maximum is $150 for secondary school. And the maximum per family is $450. So they would get all that money. So a family who have 2 students in secondary school and primary school, they would get about $450. So they would have that entire quantity of money on their phone in what is called a code, a quick response code, a QR code. And that photo of the code will be sent to their phones. Now, all the money being on it, they can shop $50 at the first store. They can buy 3 school shirts at the first store. And they can go to the second store to buy the shoes because they would have $400 remaining. And they can view that. They can see that. They can go to the third store where they would purchase their bags and, things like that. And so they will see how the monies are being spent. And every time they shop at a store, deduction is made there automatically. The vendor, the storekeeper can tell them how much is remaining, what's their balance. And they can, but that is done when it is scanned. It must be done at the terminal. The terminal is a smart terminal. It's just like the credit card machine that you go and, swipe, the swiping machine for scanning and swiping credit cards. It's a machine just like that, a small one. And they can know their balance right there. Everything is and it all works with the internet. So we've had some issues based on internet connectivity. So sometimes persons may have to return because the internet may be weaker in that area, or, they can just work with the storekeepers, and they can know all their balances as they go along.
Like you mentioned earlier, there are usually glitches, especially when you try new things, especially technology doesn't always work with us. And even if you haven't done the interviews with the parents, have you had any feedback as to some of the challenges? Because I've heard some that so tell me what you have heard. So let me make sure we're on the same page and hearing the same thing, and how those challenges will be addressed going forward. Because school opens in what, just 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks, yes. Well, we hear everything because we have persons on the ground. We have provided IT support to all the vendors. We have young men, young IT specialists. They are circulating from shop to shop, and they are assisting when possible. They are in contact with our IT engineers, and they would give them responses. They may ask the storekeeper to do X, Y, Z. And and so there is that support out there to address the issues that we expect to arise. Anything new has all of those issues with it. And so we've provided such support. In cases where a QR code does not work, someone get the QR code on their phone, maybe they cannot see it well, or maybe they don't have a phone and did not provide us with a phone number or an email, so they did not receive that QR code. We have a system in place where all the constituency offices where they would have filled those forms, and also through the seed officers, they have access to the system. So they were all sent the emails of all of the QR, of all of the approved applications, and they can print the QR code in the office. So if someone cannot proceed with the transaction because there's an issue with the code, it cannot be scanned or anything like that, they can go back to the constituency office and they can print a physical, an actual code, and they can go with it in their hand. So that is for persons without cell phones, without emails, and for any difficulty that may arise. And we have had a few already. We've had persons saying that they're seeing error 4.0, 404,
I think.
And 400,
yeah, 404,
right? Error
400.
404, right. And those things happen. And so we may, if we get the message at the same time, because we have the young men on the ground, we don't have one for every store because that would be very costly. So we have them circulating. If they get a call immediately and they can get to that store, then they will be able to assist. There may be little issues that they can, little adjustments that they can make. They can also call back and have a new code sent there and then. It has happened where there's been challenges and a new code was sent immediately. But that has a lot to do with the timing, with the timing. But a case like that, the person can return. And that's why we've sent to ask all those who have already received codes to go shop now. Blossom, they have not all gone to shop yet. Not enough. And so we want to encourage everyone who received the code to go now, go today, go tomorrow. And so that would give us time, the entire ICT team, and, time to address any of the issues. That would give the constituency offices the opportunity to send us all the details. And also, if they can, to reprint a code. Well, if that would address the matter, that is, they can do all of that. So we have these systems in place because, of course, we expect with any new program, especially a digital program, all the challenges. And to many people, there was one or two situations, one that I heard of, where the QR code went to the wrong person. And that was because of an error that was made when the forms were being filled up in the offices, in the constituencies. So that form had an error with the cell phone number. And so if it didn't come to my phone, then it went to yours, Blossom, and you went to shop, and it was not your face that was there.
Right, I've heard that.
And another thing that is critical is that our system is safe, it is secure. And WePay gives a good, safe, secure program. And I'm going to tell you more about it a little later on. But the face comes up, and all the vendor has to do is to confirm, Blossom, is you that's shopping. Blossom, you and I may have the same natural hairstyle, but we don't look alike, right? So when our picture comes up, he should say, well, okay, this fits. This is Blossom Alexis. I see her QR code. I see her name. And if the vendor wants, they could even ask you to present an ID just to confirm the name and the spelling. But that's not even necessary because your picture is there. And so once they confirm it's you, then they can proceed with the transaction. Because in the QR code is all the information. People could make payments on a QR using that QR code. They can view the information when scanned, only when scanned on a smart terminal. They can shop in person or they can shop online. And it is also possible to have a second picture. So Blossom, if you realize that you may be out of the island when the school uniform is being, when the program is being distributed, then you can have your sister, your cousin, your good friend picture there with their phone numbers. And so instead of being sent to you only, both persons will receive the QR codes. And so both persons have the opportunity to go shopping. So all of these things have been taken into consideration and everything has been done, in that regard. So I don't know if I covered all. I have not covered all the issues, Blossom. There will be issues.
You've covered some that I've received, that I've gotten so far. Oh, in terms of the what's the word I'm looking for? The vehicle that delivers the message. You mentioned if they don't have emails and so you send it via text. Just this morning, somebody said they received it via text, but they weren't even aware that it went there. They were in the process of cleaning out the inbox, and they say, let me just check this message. And that's when they realized, sorry, Minister, your video just went off.
Did?
Yes, just turn it back on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Sorry, must have been my hand touching.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. That's fine.
Internet.
We learn to roll with it. Yeah, so
Okay.
people receiving the SMS messages or the text messages are not aware. Is there a notification process that you send to each recipient, check your email, check your this, check your that, or it's just one message you receive and if I receive the message, I accidentally delete it, what happens then?
Okay, well, we anticipated that as well, Blossom. People clearing out their phones. Everyone was told that this is a new system. Remember, they took a photo that they never took before. So they were involved in the process and they were told that they will receive a message, a text message. And so for persons to be clearing their phones now, knowing that they expect this, it just tells us that we have a lot to do. We have a lot more education to do. And this is what we are learning now. We expect that persons would be, a bit more with it. But we know everyone will not have the technology, have a smartphone, which you must have in order to, to do this transaction. So this is why we have made it accessible to all constituency offices, where they can go in and they can print a QR code for someone who doesn't, who cannot access theirs. Maybe they wiped it off, or maybe their phone screen cracked and it would not be scanned properly, or, just just many of the issues that can arise. In addition to that, we have persons calling around. Our clerks only yesterday was calling around to all the offices to ask them to go into the system and check to see all persons who were assigned codes already or who were already approved. Call them and let them know that the code was delivered to their cell phone and that they can access it and that they should go shop now. So this is what should be happening now in all constituency offices, all seat offices, that they should be calling up the applicants and reminding them. So that's what we have to do. But, you and I, if you receive a message, Blossom, you'll be able to follow quickly, But this has taught us that in order for us to be, to be fully digital as a economy, a small economy in the world, we have a lot of education to do. And, yeah.
All right, Minister, let's take a break and then we're going to come back. The phones have been ringing, so I guess people have questions. This is To The Point. We're speaking with Minister with responsibility for ICT, needy assistance and special programs, the Honorable Pamela Moses. To The Point, we'll be right back.
To see my granddaughter.
EC Polymer Notes, our new money.
Here's how you can detect genuine EC polymer notes. Feel. Polymer notes feel smoother than the material from which paper notes are made. Also, the front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you. Look for the clear window at the front and back of each note. This window allows you to see through the notes. If you hold the notes up to the light, you'll see the value of the note in an area of plain colored print. Tilt. A holographic foil is on the $100, $50, and $20. The images move and their colors change when you tilt the notes. Remember, detecting genuine EC polymer notes is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Feel, look, and tilt.
EC Polymer Notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Sorry, welcome back to The Point this morning. We're speaking with Minister with responsibility for ICT, needy assistance and special projects, the Honorable Pamela Moses, and the focus really is on the school uniform program, as school is expected to reopen in just about 2.5 weeks or so. Minister, before I go to the landline, let's look at the application process and the distribution process. What's the application process? Is it still open, as a matter of fact? And the distribution, how is it being done? By alphabetical order or randomly?
Okay, well, the applications have been closed. That process has since ended. That should have been the first week of August. We closed applications, and the next process is for the workers, the staff at the Prime Minister's Ministry to continue with the approving and the overlooking of those forms. I must say, this year being all online and having to put on photos and stuff, we saw a bit more errors, and so that has caused a little delay in us completing everything. There's a bit more errors, so we have to return forms to to be completed and to be adjusted. We cannot know if a phone number is wrong. We cannot know if a wrong picture is there, though, because Blossom, I may know your name, but I may not know your face. I don't know your phone number, so I can only generate what is given. And as such, so that part is closed off. No more applications being taken in. Approving is taking place right now. When a first batch is approved, and that's done randomly because there's a number of persons doing it. So someone that applied last may get through first, unfortunately, because it's done randomly. And there's a number of persons who access our system, staff, and do the approving so that it can go for delivery. And delivery involves, as part of the WePay system, with WePay providing us with a smart payment platform. This digital system, basically, once an application is approved, a QR code is sent to the phone number that was given or the email address that was given. And if there's no phone number or email address, of course, it will go to the constituency emails and they can access it there and print it. So once this is done and the QR codes are sent out, it is viewed on someone's phone as a text message. So we want to encourage everyone, please do not clear your message or read your messages before you clear them. There can be a very important message there for you once you applied for the school uniform program. So that's being done now. We're in the process of preparing the second batch to be released. And we just are very concerned because not everyone has yet gone to shop. And like you say, Blossom, it's probably because they don't know that they received their message. And as such, we have persons now calling. We've asked all constituencies and seat officers to take the time now and call each person and let them know that they can check and they can go shop once they have it. If they didn't see it and their name was there as being sent, you have not received your code because you're in the first batch. We're not finished yet. We've just done one batch. And once their name is there, then the constituency office can print one for them and they can go shop. So we really want that to happen, and so that we can just keep going and address the issues as they come up. So if everyone goes shop early, then as issues arise, we'll be able to assist. If everyone wait for month end, when they can have extra money in their pocket to go shop and do everything, then we may have a bottleneck, which we don't want. So we're going to spend the next few weeks calling everyone and encouraging everyone. Once you've applied for the program and you received a call that a QR code was sent to you and you receive it, go shop now.
You mentioned this is the first batch. How many batches do you foresee there will be?
Well, three more. Three in all.
Right.
Yes, because we can. So we want to do one every week. We want to do one every week. So we did one last Friday. Did one on Friday. But Thursday night, it went throughout the night. So persons would have received their codes, whether it's 1, 2 in the morning. So the system was set up, and the engineer, Andre Gittens, he's the one that's working diligently with this for us, and supported by other members of the ICT team. And we are working on another batch in a few days. Yes.
All right. Now let us open the phone lines for our viewers and listeners who may have comments, questions, queries, concerns for Minister Moses in relation to the school uniform program. This is your chance to ask them. The landline number, it's 435-2041. That's also the WhatsApp number. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can post your comments or questions on Facebook and YouTube. So let's go to our first caller of the program. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom, and good morning to your followers, and good morning, Minister Moses. Quickly, before I go on to what you were discussing, I want to speak to you as a parliamentarian. And we spoke 2 years ago about an area a few hundred yards from where you were raised under the B, and I did say to you that place would slide because of how it was trimmed by the environmental wardens. And you're smiling, I know that. I pass there every week. And it has started sliding, just at the back, perilously close to the Barry's Country Resort. And I said it would, and it has started. I hope we can arrest it. Now, that program, excellent. These are the kind of things we want to hear happening in Grenada in the digital age, and it's a very good adaptation coming out of, COVID and all the things that we have to do. We have been promoting that at the Coalition of Service Industries for a long time, going digital, and it's an excellent program. There will be glitches at the start, we know that, but we hope that the people will understand and we can get our people to adjust to it. Wonderful, wonderful program. But I have a question, though. Is there a difference between a constituency office and a party office? Because a constituency office is an organ of the state, whereas the party office is an organ of a party. And if something is done in a constituency office, we'll think their people, regardless of their political affiliation, will be working in a constituency office. But in a party office, the party hacks will be working in the party office. Now, is there any distinction? Because if I am from another party, I may not feel comfortable going into the constituency office if it is doubling as a party office. And you've mentioned the constituency office over and over. Is there any such distinction at this point in time? Could you just explain to us? Because it may have implications for the success in rolling out that program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Minister?
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. They are constituency offices. They are government offices. That's where the parliamentarians, the MPs, the representative for the area meet all constituents, regardless of any preference, any political issues. That's where we serve our people. And I have my own, and I serve all my constituents. And I think that is well known that anyone from if any member of any party comes in, we provide service. We want people's lives to improve. And so those are the offices that we link with. These are the government offices. Our ministry does not link with the political offices. All right, so they're two separate business, yeah? And so the constituency offices, this is an arm of government where persons in the community get assistance. That is where our, quite a lot of work gets done to improve the community. And I know in my office, everyone comes in. But what we have put in place for persons who may have such issues and may not want to come in, since this has gone digital, or we had forms before, the seat officers And they can also go to the seed office to meet with the seed officers. So we also have that in place. So it's not only the constituency office, we also have the seed office as well. That is under the Ministry of Social Development. And the main beneficiaries of this program is the seed beneficiaries, persons who receive assistance for their children to go to school in terms of transportation and things like that. They are main beneficiaries, and other persons that are in need. No constituency office is supposed to have preference. Once someone meets our criteria, is a seed beneficiary, once someone is under the salary scale of $1,500 monthly and is maybe the only person in the house working, have a number of children, have difficulty, or just needing assistance. Yeah, programs are called needy assistance, and we link directly with all constituency offices from our ministry, from the Prime Minister's ministry.
And he also asked about an area that is sliding. Are you aware of it? Any plans to tackle it?
That's where we all move from time to time. Yes, there's been a few small slides, and yes, the area has been cleared as requested. It's a very dark area, and we can always. I am not aware if the Ministry of Work road officers or road engineers would have checked it out. Now that there's one or two small slides there, but I can always, remind them. I just want to remind the caller that is in St. Patrick West, and I of course represent the East. So although I pass there, I may not pay as much attention, but I should and I will, because I live in the area too, and I will surely discuss it with the parliamentary representative for the area, and also personally discuss it with the road officers. Okay. It is an area that, if there's serious issues, would need a lot of work. It's a very high, rocky area. Yeah. And it's the first time that we've had one or two little slides, but they're quite small. But like I said, I'm not qualified, basically, plus I'm not qualified to say if it is serious or not. So the road officers will ask them to check it out. Okay. And thank you for reminding me.
Somebody on Facebook is inquiring, what about people with no phones, who can't have phones, no money, no food, no jobs? How can they pay for data? So people with no phones, or maybe not even a technologically savvy phone, to receive a notification.
Right. Like I said before, we have all of that in place. Persons with no phone, and no, I don't think you need data to receive a text message.
No.
So it comes as a text message, but it must be a smartphone. So who don't have a smartphone, they can go to the offices where they may have filled the form, or they can contact the seed officers, and they will have one printed for them. So they will go to the store with an actual code in their hands, an actual QR code.
All right.
So they don't have to have a job. As a matter of fact, that is why this program was concepted in the first place, is to assist persons who are unemployed, persons with, a smaller salary, who are, belong to lower socioeconomic status. And they don't even need to have a bank account. They don't even need to have a credit card to be part of this system. And that's a good thing about this WePay digital platform, in that we cater to persons who are unbanked. So someone who is unbanked can get these monies from government. So if a family receives $450, they don't need to have a bank account to access it. They just go with a QR code to the stores where we have a relationship with, and government has relationship with almost 50 stores, because we were given 50 terminals by WePay. WePay have given us those terminals, and we have installed them in the stores, and so persons can go in there and do their shopping. And that is the goodness of the program. And I just want to say too that it can work the other way around. Now government is paying. Government could also receive money through the same platform down the line. Now, it's not yet in place. But what could happen, Blossom, if you want to pay your driver's license, it costs $100 a month. You go to the vendors with the 50 smart terminals and you pay your $100 and they give you a receipt. On that receipt, when it is set up, will be a 17-digit code number. Could be 17 or 14-digit number. And you can go on the pay.gov website, government website, no matter where you live in, no matter if you have anything or not, and you can pay government, it's $100. When you're completing your form online, you put in that 17-digit number, and that will be considered as your payment to government. So you don't need to leave your home. It doesn't matter which village you're living in. No need for us to leave the country and come to the town to pay bills, even though we don't have a credit card. So that is the goodness of this program. When we get there, and we're heading there.
Back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. Morning to your guest minister, and morning to the listeners and the viewers. Like Mr. Boland, I was going to call and ask about the full clarification of the definition of constituent, because it's confusing. For one, when I knew there was a constituency office for the electoral process, and over time they have integrated. I want to know if there's any basis in law or the Constitution for such thing, because it creates confusion and creates division. And you have to go to a constituency office to get your number, just in case, or in case you don't have a phone or whatever. It spells, dangerous. Cuba is punished by the United States, not Cuba. There's some Cuban business that's punished by the United States because they said these companies are basically military, the Army's company and that kind of thing like that. Because people, there's this, that when you mingle things, like, I'm not saying the Americans are right, I'm just saying that if they could, why Grenada, when you have almost everything emanating from the office of the Prime Minister, why we should believe that there's any transparency in having a constituency where over the years, the way it has evolved, is known to be associated with the party. And let me leave you with this one thing. I remember I was living in a village, and somebody showed me an invitation. They were going to open a certain community center, and it had a party. The party was sent to open the community center. So I tell the individual that should be coming from the community development division. And the person didn't even understand that. When I went back to ask him for a copy of it, he refused. Because it shows that, in fact, and the last one, when the election came in 2008, somebody who was an assistant cleaner in a school called me and asked me, what do I do? I was getting my pay was then part from the ministry and part from the party office. We've been muttering, there's a blurring of the line. Party and government should be separate. And we are making more and more, this is a one-party state in every sense of the word.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Well, I just want to reiterate that it is a constituency office. I just want to add that all of our workers are paid by government. Our supplies are provided by government, and we give a service to all of the constituents. Everyone in the community are welcome to access our services. In our constituency offices, we don't just provide, things like this. We also provide housing assistance, and everyone throughout Grenada, Carrickou, and Petite Martinique who are in need of housing have been getting. Have we reached each and every person? Not yet, Blossom, but we are working towards that. and everyone is welcomed to come to our offices. Persons who don't want to come, like I said, we have set up, they were able to meet in schools and community centers in order to do so. So we serve our people, and I just want to make it abundantly clear that there's nothing in there that relates to party. As you know, of course, we serve our people, and that is fundamentally what we do. And I personally just want to say again that everyone in my area knows very clearly, and like I say, I know who come to my office, and I have served everyone in all different parties, whatever is their political affiliation. As long as someone is in need, our objective is to serve them. And it is this program, Special Projects and Media Assistance, the school uniform program, is under the Prime Minister's ministry. All right, so this is, of course, to ensure that we all do what we have to do. And if we know the position of our Prime Minister has always been to take care of our people, create a better life for our people. And that is what we're driven to do. So it's constituency offices. We also have the seed offices, which is under the Ministry of Social Development. Okay, both offices worked collectively to ensure that that we reach everyone. That is how it's done.
All right, let me go to a WhatsApp question. Somebody asks, why do you take someone's photo in order to get state help? Does the NNP party use this personal information for electioneering? I ask because everything is done through the constituency office instead of the Ministry of Education or Social Services.
Okay, the photo is really necessary to ensure security of the process. We all go to take an ID. We all have an NIS card. We have a picture on it. We have a voter's ID. We have a picture on it. Social Security in the US of A, everyone has a picture on it. This process uses a picture ID as the form of identification. It's no different from other processes. And this has nothing to do with party or anything like that. I mean, most definitely not. It is to ensure that the system is safe and secure. We could have used signatures as the banks do, but signatures can also be added to this system. Yes, can also be added. But a picture is the quickest, fastest way while shopping to get through. And we added a photo. Everyone has cooperated. We have over 5,000 applicants. And so if one does not want it like that, and I don't think there was anyone who didn't want that photo taken. They did ask why they have to take a photo now, because with everything new, you'd ask why. But we have over 5,000 persons cooperating, and we have gotten this far. Yes. So I've completed over 5,000 applicants or applications there.
Speaking of the needy, somebody on WhatsApp says and asks, there are people who are in the program and getting the help, but they don't need it. Also, there are people who need the help and are not getting it through the program. How is this being addressed?
Well, if anyone who may have needed assistance and didn't get it this year, then we offer it to you next year. You can, of course, go to the seat office or the constituency office, and you can make your need be known, and the persons will be considered. We do have a budget, of course, for this, but that is what I would like to recommend for now. Yeah, whoever got missed and need assistance, you're too late for this year, so it will be next year. And what we can do is to clean up our list. I just want to say that the Ministry of Social Development cleans up its list from time to time, and go back to see if persons' living conditions or socioeconomic status has changed, and persons are removed from the program from time to time. So once you unseed, then we know that you are there because you are considered someone in need of assistance. And so a seed beneficiary, someone who's already in the seed program, automatically qualifies for the school uniform assistance program.
Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, and how are you?
I'm good.
Nice hearing your voice, Blossom. Mr. Minister, good morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Minister, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
And how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
That is very
Thanks for
nice.
calling.
Thank you. I want to make this clear to you. You made a statement a while ago about it's not true. People who don't support the party, when they go to the office, they get accommodated. That happened in River Road right on the ground day. You don't support the party, when you go there, you have certain people asking you what you come here and do. Right? They just drive a car. And they just take up and down the road like a big bajan and making drama. And I could tell you, I personally, it happened to me, plus other people that I know. And I'm telling you that because what you're saying is not the truth. And what the minister even said, what it was, about the distribution program, about the needy and the too much $40-something thousand. People who walk in right now because they're not on work, school, and holiday, they're still working in the seed program. And people who don't work in no way, they do home and they can't make other work. So let's be fair. Don't say what is happening. Is that what's going on? Is a one-side food system what's going on? One set of people could eat and the next set of eat. Because I don't support you, I don't think what I could tell you. I was a strong NNP, but because of certain lack of move. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. Minister?
All right. Thank you, caller. Sorry about that. But of course, we know that we serve our people. That may be individual case. There may be issues like that. As I always blossom, there's issues with everything. But it is our endeavor as a government to ensure that we serve everyone through our offices.
All right, let me go to the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp asks, is the voucher, well, yes, if the voucher program is needs-based, and how do you confirm the needs of the people in the program?
Well, there's criteria. Single-headed households. You may have one person working in the home. Those are some of the criteria. The salary, the maximum salary per household, $1,500. The maximum salary of the person, $1,500 monthly. So people above that salary range will not qualify. So you qualify once you're $1,500 and under. Unemployed, number of children, things like that. So we have criteria for which persons are considered. And yes, it is part of a needy assistance program. You're in need because, you need assistance to send your children to school. In the US of A, children get a lot of assistance for school, We cannot do as much because of our, maybe, we are a small developing nation. But in the US, children get free transport to school. They don't pay no bus. And so our seed program is our way of helping our people get children to school. Our nation has to be educated. This must be a priority. In the US of A, people get free lunch in school. No parent had to wake up one morning and wonder, well, what are giving my child for school today? And in Grenada, we have a small group of people, called seed beneficiaries that we give some assistance to ensure that the children get to school and get an education. And some people still have a problem. If big America could do it, I think we need to do more. I don't think we do enough for school children to ensure that they get a good education. Because from my years in school, I know children come to school without breakfast sometimes, without bus money, without lunch. It's a challenge. So we as a government need to increase our budget in that area to ensure that our young people get the proper education that they need. There's no learning taking place on no hungry belly. We know that for a fact. Right, Blossom?
I agree, and I like how you put it. All right, I have time for one more question. There's a question on Facebook that is outside of the scope that we were addressing this morning, outside of the school uniform program.
Before you go there, I just want to share something about how the businesses would get paid through this new platform. Yeah.
Okay.
We should. Well, we will have some gains there. The people will get paid faster. In the past, a lot of paperwork. Everyone has to go through every receipt. But at the end of every day, the accountant general basically receives a report that is generated automatically from a file called the Automatic Clearinghouse file, the ACH file. And so a deposit can be made. I mean, we wouldn't do it daily, but a deposit can be made at the end of a day. So if let's say a store sells $2,000 worth of school uniforms that day, then the ACH file is sent to the Attorney General or to the Finance Department and the Accounting Department immediately. We know when the first transaction was made. It was made at 9:41 a.m. in Brentville in one of those stores. That was the first transaction, and it was seen by the Accounting Department and Finance Department almost immediately, whether it was $100 or $150. And at the end of the day, government knows how many people shop, how much money was spent. And so once approved by the accounting and finance officers, and at our department and at the Ministry of Finance, then businesses can be paid. And so we look forward to businesses starting to be paid maybe by the end of the month, as soon as our audit department come and check out our new system. We're working with audit, we're working with the Attorney General, the Accountant General, to ensure that everything is proper and well accounted for. So that's a great benefit as well. In the past, businesses get paid out November, December, the officers still going through receipt by receipt. Although they will go through a few, but we can have a total for payment in a much quicker time. And so next year, we're hoping that maybe weekly, vendors can get paid. So I know it's a tedious process still for them, having to write out that receipt, but it is part of the financing and auditing requirements for this new program that we have on roll, this new WePay program. And we're very thankful to WePay Caribbean for sharing with us this digital platform that we can use for a number of things. We could even use it to pay for our debushing program. We could use it to pay for our contract work. We can use it to pay our elderly who collect monies every month from government in the public assistance program through the Ministry of Social Development as well.
All right, and this question on Facebook, somebody is asking on Facebook, Minister Moses, you campaigned on jobs and land for the people of St. Patrick, but we are not seeing it in St. Patrick. And secondly, what is the government doing to fix the breakwater project in Sateers, the worst thing that ever happened to the people of Sateers?
Well, regarding the breakwater, I know there have been many news items and many visits to the area. The MP, Minister Boson, would have explained all of what is happening. Minister Cox would have shared all of that. There, a company was selected to come and start the process to address the issues down there. The costing is done, the bid is complete. Everything is done there. In terms of lands and in terms of, there's a lot that we're doing. I don't know if I have time. In St. Patrick area, we are in the process of ensuring that our Shambo farmers get their land that they're farming on leased from government. Government is in the process of working along with the owners who are Canadians. Their board of directors have given the okay to proceed. This will take a couple of years to finalize because every lot has to be surveyed, so that is being done. In the area of Montrose, we have 10 acres of government land there, and that is being assigned for three main things. One, the first one being possible housing. So the next time we get a donation of low-income housing, whether it's from the Chinese or any other government, government has land ready and waiting to put down a couple hundred housing units. So we are assigning land for that. The community does not have a playing field for its two schools, so that is being assigned. And there's quite a lot that has been happening. We have our massive St. Patrick Road project. Roads are an issue now, or people are complaining, but St. Patrick, passing through Montreach, Hermitage side, has one of the best road networks right now. We have 4 massive bridges that has been repaired. We have no more flooding in those areas on our main. No more need for people to turn back if they go into the hospital with a sick person or with a pregnant woman. Turn back when you get to those bridges because it's flooded. All of those things have been done. So I don't know what land the person is referring to. I don't know what other lands there are. I know the rest of the lands are privately owned. And, so we're doing all that we can do now with our government lands in our constituency.
Minister Moses, thank you so very much for being our guest on To The Point this morning. Appreciate it. Hopefully the viewers and listeners were able to learn something in relation to the school uniform program. And if they are having problems, is there a number they can call in the meantime?
They can report to the seat office and constituency offices.
Okay.
They can call those offices and they will gather all the data, all the issues, and they can get back to us.
Okay. So the seat office and the constituency.
Because if we have, too much persons calling, so they all go back to the individual. So that is 15 groups. And so they will send us the emails and everything will be addressed. We'll do our very best to address all the issues. We just want everyone to go shop now so that we'll have time to address the issues that we expect to arise.
Okay.
We expect to arise. And we just want to ask our vendors to ensure that the internet service is up and running well, because that is critical to the transaction, to the success of the transaction, the internet service. Yeah, so the system has to be connected directly. And, they can't use Wi-Fi from neighboring. But we know all of the places that we delivered terminals to all have the individual internet connection, direct internet connection.
All right. Thank you very much.
But that has been one of the challenges. That has been one of the challenges. And, sometimes you have to reboot, start over, and do it over again. Yes.
Thank you very much, Minister. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I wish you success with the rollout of the digital platform for the school uniform program.
Thank you so much, Blossom. Thank you for having me. I'm on my way now to my constituency office where I serve each and every one of my constituents who enter.
I like how you put it. Thank you. Have a good one.
Take care. You have a good one.
Thank you.
It was good. Yeah, I appreciate it. All the best.
All the best.
And thank you to all the callers, Yeah.
All right. Minister with responsibility for ICT, needy assistance and special programs, the Honorable Pamela Moses. We thank her for being the guest this morning. And thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. It's time for me to head on out. I've stolen about 5 minutes of Joseph's time. He's up next with the mid-morning buzz. I'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing. Enjoy the rest of your wonderful Wednesday.